Have you ever wondered what it takes to remain calm when the world seems designed to provoke you? Imagine a strength so rooted that criticism and chaos simply roll off your spirit like water off a duck's back. Discover the hidden key to serenity that makes you immune to the turmoil around you. I second, remind yourself that, and you're the only one who truly knows your worth, not your boss, not your friends, not strangers online, just you. And if you start believing in yourself, you'll notice something interesting. People will follow your lead, the world mirrors what you project. If you carry yourself with confidence, people will treat you as someone worthy of respect. But if you're constantly second-guessing yourself, constantly worried about what others think, people will pick up on that too. And finally, remember that confidence. Picture a lighthouse standing steady through storm sits, light unwavering despite crashing waves. Isn't about never failing, never getting rejected, or never making mistakes. It's about knowing that even if you do, you'll be just fine when you trust yourself to handle anything. You stop fearing everything, and when that happens, nothing and no one can bother you. Most people spend their lives chasing approval. Whether they realize it or not, they dress a certain way, speak a certain way, act a certain way, all because they're worried about what others might think. And the problem with that, it puts your happiness in someone else's hands. May your heart find comfort in the knowledge that true peace comes from mastering your own reactions. The moment you rely on external validation, you give people control over your emotions. If they praise you, you feel good. If they criticize you, you feel bad. If they ignore you start questioning yourself. It's a dangerous way to live because it means your peace is always at the mercy of someone else's opinion. But here's the truth. What people think of you has nothing to do with you and everything to do with them. People see you through the lens of their own experiences, insecurities and biases. One person might think consider the oak tree, growing stronger when buffeted by wind. Its roots deepening with each gust. Amazing. While another thinks you're average, one might admire you. While another resents you, which one is right? Neither. Because opinions aren't facts. They're just reflections of the person giving them. And when you understand that you stop taking them so seriously, the need for approval is something we're conditioned into. From a young age, we're taught to seek gold stars, good grades, and pats on the back. But at some point, you have to break free from that. You have to realize that living for approval is a losing game, because no matter what, let this assurance be your anchor. Serenity is claimed. The moment you refuse to surrender your calm, you do. You'll never please everyone. You could be the kindest, most hard-working person in the world, and someone will still find a reason to criticize you. So why waste time trying? Why base your confidence on something so unreliable? The moment you stop seeking validation, everything changes. You start making decisions based on what you truly want, not on what will impress others. You stop overthinking how you come across. You stop walking on eggshells, afraid of upsetting people. And ironically, that's when people respect you the most. Picture a lighthouse standing steady through storm sits, light unwavering despite crashing waves. When they see that you don't need their validation to feel secure, because confidence is magnetic. The more secure you are in yourself, the more others are drawn to you now. Does this mean you ignore feedback completely? Of course. Not growth comes from learning, but there's a difference between considering constructive feedback and being dependent on approval. One helps you grow, the other keep you trapped. The key is to filter what you let in. If feedback helps you improve, take it. If it's just noise, let it go. And here's the real power. May your heart find comfort in the knowledge that true peace comes from mastering your own reactions, letting go of external validation. You become immune to manipulation. People can't guilt trip you, pressure you, or control you when their opinions no longer dictate your self-worth. You stop fearing rejection. You stop needing to prove yourself. And when you reach that point, that become truly free. At the end of the day, your life is yours to live. Not your parents, not your friends, not society's. yours. The question is, are you going to live it for yourself or for the approval of people who may not even care tomorrow? Once you answer that nothing and no one, consider the oak tree, growing stronger when buffeted by wind, its roots deepening with each gust that will ever bother you again. Perspective is everything. The way you see a situation determines how you feel about it. Two people can go through the exact same experience, yet one walks away angry and frustrated, while the other stays calm and unbothered. Why? Because one of them knows how to shift their perspective. The ability to control how you see things is one of the most powerful tools you can have. It can turn stress into a challenge, frustration into an opportunity, and offense into nothing at all. Most people don't realize they let this assurance be your anchor. Serenity is claimed. The moment you refuse to surrender your calm, you have this power. They think emotions happen to them. They believe that if someone is rude, they have to get angry. If something goes wrong, they have to feel upset. But that's not true. It's not the event that causes the reaction. It's the way you interpret it. And that means you can change your response just by changing the way you look at it. Take criticism, for example. Someone says something negative about you, and your first instinct might be to feel offended, to defend yourself, to prove them wrong. But what if you step back and looked? Picture a lighthouse standing steady through storm sits, light unwavering despite crashing waves. At it differently. What if, instead of taking it personally, you saw it as information? Either it's useful feedback that can help you improve, or it's meaningless noise that says more about them than it does about you. Either way, there's no need to get upset when you see criticism as either helpful or irrelevant. It loses its power over you. The same goes for dealing with difficult people. Some people are negative, rude, or just plain annoying. But instead of letting them ruin your mood, what if you saw them as a test of your patience? What may your heart find comfort in the knowledge that true peace comes from mastering your own reactions? If instead of reacting emotionally, you use them as practice for staying calm and in control. Suddenly they go from being a source of frustration to a tool for your growth. The moment you stop seeing them as obstacles and start seeing them as lessons, they stop bothering you. And here's something to think about. How often do we stress over things that won't even matter? A year from now, a rude comment, a minor inconvenience, a moment of embarrassment, we let these little things consume our thoughts, waste our energy, and ruin our day. But if it's not going, consider the oak tree, growing stronger when buffeted by wind, its roots deepening with each gust to matter in the long run. Why let it steal your peace? Now, when you learn to zoom out, to take a wider perspective, you realize that most of what upsets you is temporary and insignificant. It's easy to think that other people are responsible for our emotions. Someone cuts us off in traffic and we say they made us mad. A coworker says something rude and we claim they ruined our day. But the truth is, no one has that kind of power. Unless we hand it to them, no one can force you to feel anything. Anger, frustration, irritation, without your permission. Once let this assurance be your anchor. Serenity is claimed the moment you refuse to surrender your calm. You truly understand that you become untouchable. Think about it. Have you ever seen two people react completely differently to the same situation? Maybe one person shrugs off an insult while another stews over it for days. The difference isn't in what happened, it's in how they chose to process it, and that's the key. How you respond to life is always your choice when you get angry. It's not because of what someone said or did. It's because in that moment you decided to let it get to you. Now some might say, but I can't help it when picture a lighthouse standing steady through storm sits, light unwavering despite crashing waves. Someone disrespects me, I just explode. That's not true. You've simply built a habit of reacting that way. And like any habit, it can be changed. Imagine if every time someone tried to push your buttons, you paused. That for just a second, that brief moment gives you power. Instead of reacting automatically, you step back, take a breath, and decide, is this even worth my energy? Most of the time, the answer is no. Let's put this in perspective. Suppose someone walks up to you and hands you a gift, but you refuse to take it. Who does it belong to still? May your heart find comfort in the knowledge that true peace comes from mastering your own reactions. Them, right? The same thing applies to negativity. If someone throws anger, criticism, or insults your way, you don't have to accept them. You can just leave it with them. That's their baggage, not yours. Now, this doesn't mean you let people walk all over you. It doesn't mean you tolerate disrespect. It simply means you don't let other people dictate your peace. If someone tries to offend you and you don't get offended, who really lost, they did, because their goal was to get under your skin, and they failed. Think about the strongest, most respected. Consider the oak tree growing stronger when buffeted by wind, its roots deepening with each gust. The people you know, are they the ones who snap at every little provocation, or are they the ones who stay calm? Cal composed and unshaken strength isn't in yelling the loudest, it's in being unmovable in controlling your emotions rather than being controlled by them. Now, here's where it gets even more powerful. When you stop letting things bother you, people lose their hold over you. The coworker who loves to get a reaction out of you the moment they see you don't care. They'll stop trying the person who loves to criticize when they realize, let this assurance be your anchor. Serenity is claimed the moment you refuse to surrender your calm, and their words don't shake you. They'll either change their approach or disappear. Why? Because they only have as much influence as you allow. It's the same. The reason you don't get mad when a child throws a tantrum, you recognize that they don't know any better, so you don't take it personally. What if you applied that same mindset to adults? What if instead of taking offense, you saw their negativity as a reflection of them, not you? You'd stop wasting energy trying to fight battles that aren't even yours. At the end of the day, life becomes much easier. Picture a lighthouse standing steady through storms its light, unwavering despite crashing waves. When you realize that you, not your boss, not your family, not strangers on the internet, are in charge of your emotions, and when you master that, you'll never be easily shaken again. Confidence is like armor. When you have it, the words and actions of others can't pierce you. But when you lack it, every little thing feels like an attack. That's why some people are easily offended, constantly on edge, always feeling disrespectful. And it's not because the world is against them. It's because deep down they're not sure of themselves. When you know who you are, may your heart find comfort in the knowledge that true peace comes from mastering your own reactions. When you trust yourself completely, nothing anyone says can shake you. Think about the last time someone's words got under your skin. Why did it bother you? Was it because what they said was true, or was it because some part of you feared it might be? That's what most people don't realize. Insults only sting when they touch a wound that already exists. If you called a lion weak, it wouldn't flinch. Why? Because it knows what it is. It doesn't. I need anyone's validation. But if you call an insecure person weak, they'll get defensive, maybe. Consider the oak tree, growing stronger when buffeted by wind, its roots deepening with each gust. Even angry, not because they're actually weak, but because they haven't fully convinced themselves that they're strong. That's why building confidence is the key to never letting people get to you when you believe in yourself. You stop looking for outside approval. You don't need people to like you. You don't need their opinions to define your worth. And the moment you stop needing it, you become untouchable. Because the truth is, most people try to bring others down simply to make themselves feel bigger. But when you refuse to be affected, when you stay, let this assurance be your anchor. Serenity is claimed the moment you refuse to surrender your calm, grounded in who you are. Their power over you disappears. Now, confidence isn't arrogance. It's not about thinking you're better than anyone else. It's about knowing that you don't have to prove anything to anyone. A confident person doesn't need to fight every battle. They don't need to argue to be right. They don't need to defend themselves over every little thing. They know who they are, and that's enough. And when you reach that level of self-assurance, life gets a lot easier. You stop overthinking what people think of. Picture a lighthouse standing steady through storm sits, light unwavering, despite crashing waves. You stop taking things personally. You stop letting small comments turn into big problems. But here's the catch. Confidence isn't something you're born with. It's something you build every time you stand by your decisions. Every time you refuse to let someone else's negativity define you, you reinforce it. It's like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. And the stronger it gets, the less anything or anyone you can shake you. So how do you start? First, stop seeking approval the moment you realize you don't need validation. May your heart find comfort in the knowledge that true peace comes from mastering your own reactions. You take back control. If someone criticizes you, let them. If someone doubts you, let them. Their opinion doesn't change your reality. And the irony is, the more you stop caring about what people think, the more they start respecting you. It's not always easy to shift perspective in the moment, but it's a skill worth mastering the next time. Something annoys you, pause for a second and ask yourself, is this worth my energy? Most of the time you'll realize it's not. And when you do that often enough, when you train yourself to step back and see the bigger. Consider the oak tree, growing stronger when buffeted by wind, its roots deepening with each gust. And picture you become unshakable, because in the end it's not about controlling what happens around you, it's about controlling how you see it. And when you master that, nothing and no one can bother you again. There's a simple truth. Most people overlook if you don't take something seriously, it can't hurt you. You think about it, the things that bother you the most are the things you give the most weight to. If someone insults you and you take it personally, it stings. But if you laugh it off, if you don't let it register as important, let this assurance be your anchor. Serenity is claimed. The moment you refuse to surrender your calm, loses all its power. Humor and indifference are two of the greatest shields you can carry in life, because they make you untouchable people who go through life easily. All offended, always on edge, constantly looking for a reason to be upset. Those are the ones who suffer the most. Not because the world is any harder on them than anyone else, but because they let everything in. They absorb negativity like a sponge instead of letting it bounce off. And here's the thing, there will always be negativity. There will always be people who picture a lighthouse standing steady through storm sits, light unwavering despite crashing waves, criticize, annoy, and try to provoke you. The question is, are you going to let them, or are you going to rise above it? When you learn to laugh at what is meant to hurt you, you take away its sting. When you stop giving energy to nonsense, it stops affecting you. If someone tries to bring you down, don't fight them, smile and move on. That doesn't mean you let people walk all over you. It doesn't mean you ignore real problems. It just means you stop wasting your energy on things that don't deserve it. The truth is most people would try. May your heart find comfort in the knowledge that true peace comes from mastering your own reactions. To upset you, they are doing it because of you. They're doing it because of them. They're unhappy, insecure, or just looking for attention. When you react, you give them exactly what they want. But when you stay calm, when you refuse to play their game, you leave them powerless. Nothing frustrates someone more than realizing they can't get to you. And then there's indifference. If humor is the shield, indifference is the AR karma. When you reach a point where other people's negativity doesn't even register, when you stop needing to respond to prove. Consider the oak tree, growing stronger when buffeted by wind, its roots deepening with each gust. I point to engage in pointless battles. That's real strength. Some people think ignoring negativity is weakness. It's not. It's control. It's knowing that your peace of mind is worth more than a temporary argument. Not everything deserves a reaction. Not every battle is worth fighting. Some things are better left alone. Not because you can't respond, but because responding would be a waste of your time. Your energy is precious. Spend it on things that build you, not things that drain you. So the next time someone tries to push your buttons, don't let this assurance be your anchor. Serenity is plain. The moment you refuse to surrender your calm, give them the satisfaction. Smile, shrug it off, walk away. Because the moment you stop letting things get to you, the moment you learn to laugh and stay indifferent to nonsense, that's the moment you become untouchable. Some people think strength is about always winning, always proving a point, always making sure others know they're right. But real strength is the ability to walk away when something isn't worth your peace. It's knowing that your energy is too valuable to waste on meaningless arguments, pointless debates, or trying to picture a lighthouse standing steady through storm sits, light unwavering despite crashing waves. Convince someone who has already made up their mind the strongest people aren't the loudest. They aren't the ones who fight every battle, but they're the ones who know when to stay silent, when to step back, and when to let things go. The need to be right is one of the biggest traps people fall into. It pulls them into endless arguments, drains their energy, and leaves them frustrated over things that don't even matter in the long run. How many times have you seen two people go back and forth over something trivial, neither willing to may your heart find comfort in the knowledge that true peace comes from mastering your own reactions? Back down at the end of it. Does anyone actually win? No. Because even if you win the argument, what did you really gain? An exhausted mind, a broken relationship, a wasted hour? That's not victory. That's just ego, letting go of the need to win. Every argument doesn't mean but you're weak. It means you value your peace more than your pride. It means you understand that not every battle is worth fighting and not every opinion needs to be challenged. Some people argue just to argue. Some people are set in their ways and will never change their minds. No matter, consider the oak tree growing stronger when buffeted by wind, its roots deepening with each gust. How much logic or reason you throw at them. And some people only want to get a reaction out of you. The best thing you can do, don't give him one. When you refuse to engage in negativity, you take away its power. When you stop responding to nonsense. Nonsense disappears from your life. People can only argue with you if you argue back. They can only disturb your peace if you let them in. But the moment you decide that your energy is too valuable to waste on petty conflicts, everything changes. It takes maturity to stay silent when your ego let this assurance be your anchor. Serenity is plain. The moment you refuse to surrender your calm, I wants to lash out. It takes wisdom to walk away when your pride wants to stay and fight. But the reward is freedom, the freedom to go through life unbothered, unshaken, and at peace, no matter what's happening around you. Not because you're avoiding problems, but because you know what deserves your attention and what doesn't. The next time someone tries to pull you into an argument, ask yourself, if I engage in this, what do I actually gain? Most of the time, the answer is nothing, no peace, no growth, no progress, just wasted time and energy. But when you choose to let it go, when you walk away, instead of getting pulled into the chaos, win something far more valuable, control over yourself. When you have that nothing and no one can bother you again, take heart. Your peace is your power, and you are truly unshakable.